Special treat here this morning on BronxNet's Open. The winningest coach in Lehman College women's basketball history joins us, Coach Harrison. Eric Harrison, how are you? So great to see you.
Pretty good. Always a pleasure to see you, Bobby, and look forward to talking to you guys. Exciting to see you today.
You know, I think that's a great tagline for any coach when you can say that you've won over 300 games and over 20-plus seasons at Lehman. And I'm sure a lot of our fans at home know that BronxNet is housed on the campus of Lehman College. And they've seen you many times here on our show. But right now, a coach for a great program with a great resume, a great history, but there is no college basketball going on at Lehman. How difficult has it been and challenging for not only the coaches, but the student athletes with no hoops here at Lehman?
Well, it's been a trying season, with the pandemic in March last year and our spring sports being canceled. We thought it would be light at the end of the tunnel, and by the fall, we'd be back to normal. But not having spring sports and now the winter sports is definitely a change. 23 years, I'm used to being heavily into the season right now, practicing every day, and this is a little different now, so it's about keeping the team together and, hoping that we all survive through this and, we see better days.
I love that Knicks shirt, Coach. I know right now, of course, the Knickerbockers off to a really good start. And that's exciting to see. I know you guys miss basketball. I think it's incredible to think that I know you're a big Yankee fan, too. It's incredible to think that it feels like yesterday that you guys had just won the CUNY Conference, played in the NCAA tournament, and then got a chance to be honored at Yankee Stadium. We're talking about that 15-16 championship season. And I mean, man, I'm pretty sure everybody in the Bronx would sign up for a chance to be back at Yankee Stadium again.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it seems like just yesterday, that championship was a special season, and have the opportunity to be honored by the greatest sports franchise in the world and have an opportunity to be honored right before the game was something that'll be a lasting memory for me. It's probably one of the greatest highlights of my career, probably in my life there. It was a good moment. The Yankees did pretty well by us, and it's something that will definitely go down in history.
Really so great to watch that championship year. I think as someone that's watched much of your career and also been there at Lehman for some of those big games, I'm sure that's got to rank at the top.
Yeah, that was a special team that year. We had an All-American and Amelie Del Rosario. We had a good senior captain, Jennifer Navarro, Corinne Walker, Yarmise Jones, and Amani Lightbourne. It was a real magical team that year. Even the way we won the CUNY championship in overtime, then to go out in the NCAA tournament and have a double-digit lead against a national power like NYU and just get a couple of late injuries and lose a tough game at the end. But it's something that, it's truly probably the highlight of my 23 years at Lehman. So, it's something that we look forward to hopefully repeating in the very, very, very near future. But that team's going to be hard to match what that team did.
So multiple CUNYAC Coach of the Year. Again, you've had some really great seasons. 15-16, I would think is at the top, but are you most proud of that season, especially when you consider that you've been Coach of the Year before and had other teams that have really been good?
That season right there was the first championship in 2007 was very special because it was the first championship that we had ever had in the history of Lehman College. But the 15-16 team holds true to the heart because we had been without a gym for about 2 years. We had lost in the playoffs the year before after Amelie Del Rosario had played, had suffered a big injury and fought through it and still played. And, that team was resilient. They all planned it. They wanted to come back and work hard. And it was probably one of the hardest working teams that I've ever had, and those girls gave it 200%, so it was a proud moment to see them wrap up their careers with a championship and, bring another one to the school. But that was probably the most special one right there.
So, as a coach of this great program, and again, an impressive resume for you here in the Bronx, how difficult has it been to basically be recruiting right now to try to keep the student athletes engaged remotely, whether it's practice or, trying to have all of these types of Zoom meetings from home? How challenging has it been basically to try to continue business as usual when business as usual isn't the case?
Yeah, it's been, they're definitely earning our money this year. It's something where we didn't find out until about mid-November that CUNY was going to cancel all of the winter sports. So for the whole beginning of the year, we were keeping our players upbeat. They were holding out hope to play. They were excited about it. And then once we got the news, we just continued with a lot of Zoom calls and keeping the kids real fired up going into next season. There was no seniors on this year's team, So it isn't like we were going to lose a player who was going to be disappointed. So it's now just a matter of keeping everybody upbeat and, keeping the mentalities ready and, looking forward to hopefully doing winter 21. So it's one of those things that Zoom, I've become a master of the Zoom calls now. So, I'm pretty good at that. And, we do a lot of team videos where, ironically, the number one video we show is the 2016 championship game. So we watch that a lot and try to give them a glimpse into what the future could hold.
So, Coach, what's the gut feeling? I know it's hard to kind of be a prognosticator when it comes to COVID-19, but what's the gut feeling in terms of when, Lehman Athletics, the CUNY Conference, when most of the sports would be coming back?
Well, right now, CUNY hasn't made a decision yet on the spring sports. That's a decision to come soon. It doesn't look the most promising. Nobody's told me anything, but we're already in January right now, and students aren't on campus. And I think the NCAA as well as the CUNY Conference wanted where sports were going to happen, students would be back on campus on a regular basis, which has not happened yet. So hopefully that the moon and the stars align up and this COVID is cleared up a little bit and there's a little more information on how we could be successful with it. And we hopefully are back in the fall with our regular sports lineup. But, that's the thing about right now. Nobody really knows anything, so you're just going on the day-to-day basis and hoping that eventually there's a breakthrough and, we can resume life back to normal as the way it is.
And also, fun fact, I'm sure many of the fans at home might also know this about you, but you're also the scheduling coordinator for the athletic program. And I believe Lehman has 18 teams now, correct?
18 varsity sports, yep.
18 varsity sports. So, how challenging has that been basically to try to kind of forecast what the future might hold in terms of scheduling for all of the programs once this does come back? Because I'm sure there's kind of a logjam in trying to figure out what the schedules might be, because it seems like so many of the programs are handling COVID and conferences handling COVID-19 a bit differently.
Yeah, it's been unique. It's been a lot of cancellations, of course, this year. But as much as we're canceling this year, we're rescheduling as usual, hoping everything goes back to normal, but already knowing that there's a strong possibility of a lot of things being changed. The conference is still talking different things, so nobody really knows yet if it's going to be a regional schedule, if you'll be able to play a schedule as is. So it's now just putting together a few temporary things to have in place and make adjustments. So I'm on the call every single day. Some days we schedule something, a week later you've got to change it all around. So, it's a matter of just staying busy and staying in contact with the other schedule coordinators and hopefully ironing everything out soon.
The virus, of course, running pretty strong here in the tri-state and in New York City, but you still have other programs locally that are playing basketball. So is it difficult knowing that you have some of these other teams here in the city that are playing when maybe you guys could be playing?
As a competitor, you see a lot of the schools and, you wish that you were out there competing as well, just as a competitor. From just the administrator and just from a human person, you just know right now this COVID is very serious, and you want to make sure that you don't put people at risk. The CUNY schools are a lot different because, we're mostly a commuter school. So our kids are on the train every day. It's a lot of interaction with a lot of people coming in. So, you want to make sure that when these kids are coming to school, they're safe and, you want to put their health and their well-being first. So in the beginning, it was anxious, you wanted to get out on the court. But as you see it play along and you see how many lives have been lost, you realize the bigger picture and you just, hopefully one day it gets back to normal. In due time, you'll be back on that court.
Well, Coach, I'm excited to maybe be back on campus to be in studio and do some shows. And I'm excited to be back on campus at some point to see some Lehman College basketball and have you back on the sidelines again. That would be great. The little things that we took for granted before all of this.
Oh, yeah, we definitely take a lot of things for granted. And this has been something that makes you appreciate the little things. So we're excited and hopefully we can get back to normal soon. And hopefully I can see you on that campus and we can be out there celebrating another championship.
All the best in the new year, Coach. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.